Now the guy will give them up that. We are going to Imo State. We're going to Imo State. You should know why they are going to Imo State. They are also going to Rivers State. They're going to Abia State. They are going to Ebonyi State. They are going to Enugu. Okay? They're going to go places. And they are going to hunt down. Because the other now is that these damages where IPOB don't do them, if they pain them more than the killings that the Boko Haram are doing, bandits are doing. Let me take you to Katsina, the place they should be sending the military to, but they refuse to. Okay? They are sending the military after those who are peacefully protesting. That is that. And you cannot see who gave the order. Buratai the butcher. Buratai is chief of army staff. He's not the commander-in-chief. Where is your president? The one that should normally give such orders and explain the reason why he's giving such order. Telling the people that I'm so sorry if you see the military on the street, they are there to protect you and all of that, as then they do for where normal people do in normal countries. Come on, guys. Come on. People who need security are not getting security. They allow bandits, they allow terrorists to continue to kill and displace people that need security. And they are sending security to go out somewhere where people are holding placards, where people are holding stones and sticks to go and shoot them down. How does that make sense? Can you help me make that to make sense? Watch this before I go to Wiki.
Kashe mana mutane bala adadin. Don haka muna cikin juyayi kwarai da gaske. Wato ina kira ga gwamnatin tarayya da gwamnatin jihar Katsina. Dan Allah dan girman Allah su dubi talakawan kasar nan yanzu duk kewayen garin nan. Duk kewayen nan tun daga Mai Gora zuwa Faskari zuwa Kadisau ba ka samu mace 10 wadda ta kwana a gidanta. Saboda haka kuma shanunmu an kwashe kuma ga mutanenmu da aka kashe. Muna kira ga gwamnatin tarayya dan mashina muna kira ga gwamnatin tarayya da gwamnatin jihar Katsina dan Allah dan girman Allah su taimaka su dube mu su dome mu da idan rahama su taimaka mana su ba mu kariya. Saboda haka wannan abin ya dame mu kanmu ba mu kwana gidajenmu yanzu haka mafi yawan mu daga wani wuri muka kwana mun zo nan garin ne da sahi.
That's the people from Bokwari State, Katsina State. That's where Bokwari comes from. They are not safe. They are no longer sleeping in their villages. They are now going elsewhere to sleep. They need security. Buratai the butcher is sending security down to the east, sending the security down to the southwest to continue to beat and humiliate, dehumanize the southerners who are peacefully asking the government to do the right thing. That is the reality. And they are not doing it without a welcome invitation. There are governors from the west, governors from the east, governor from the Niger Delta region, including Wike that want to be vice president to anybody then bring up in PDP, whether na Tambuwal, whether na Atiku, may they shall give an vice president. Those who are going to also fly the flag of Fulani, as some of you are currently, propagating. Fulani man cannot rule Nigeria again. Your criminal leaders are going to bring you one again, and they are ready to deputize. The same Wike is ready to sacrifice his own citizens by labeling them names in order to hang them. He called IPOB criminals, but there are videos of those who vandalized Port Harcourt. But here is the invitation of the military to Niger Delta region. And when they start killing, when they start the harassment and all of that, please, please don't blame a Fulani or blame an Hausa Fulani or anybody, okay? Blame those who find them very, very much convenient in using them to deal with you because they don't want to do it themselves. If they do it themselves, it will look more like, and they can always come up tomorrow and say, well, I don't control military. I don't control the police. But they invite them. They do. Like this.
Let us live together because we are one Nigeria. And we continue to be one Nigeria. We believe in the unity of this country. However, we cannot, because we want all of us to live together, criminals will begin to threaten our state. No, we won't allow that. Will we allow that? No. We want all of us to live together. We agree. But that we will live together does not mean that I shall allow criminals to chase me away. Will you allow criminals to chase you away? No. That's one terrorist group, and which everybody must be very, very vigilant about it now. Because you don't know what is happening. Rivers State cannot be colonized by any group. Rivers State will never, not under while I'm still as governor, to be annexed by any group whatsoever. We will never allow that. There's one terrorist group they call IPOP. I did not declare them terrorist group. The court declared them terrorist group. Listen, the court declared them terrorist group. Federal government declared them terrorist group. IPOP cannot use Rivers State to be a place where they'll be launching attacks. If you allow that, your future, your children's future is gone. It is not about me. We are living, Igbos are living here, doing their business here, and they'll continue to live here and do their businesses here. We'll support that. But that terrorist group called IPOP cannot determine what will happen in our state to tell us where they own in this state. It will never happen. And we must not allow it to happen. So I have called the citizens and the youth bodies and the council chairman. It will be a shame to any local government in this state to allow IPOP to say they have a possession in this state. Enough is enough. I hear they have a flag in Oyibo. We must go and remove that flag. If I see this IPOP in America and Ikoku again, and tell them we are not ready for IPOP. We are not ready for IPOP. You cannot come to a peaceful.
That's what they do. Do you see how angry he was? And that is what they do when they want to pass their, what do you call it? When they want to pass their occultic messages across to the zombies that look up to them. Half of that room, if not 90% of those in that room, they hold their living, their daily bread to that man talking. What would you expect? They are either PAs, SAs, this, that. Amechi did 8 years. He had his own PAs, SAs. He was also talking like he could talk. He could make the word come to. Last, he left. So, Amechi cannot come now and say, oh, IPOB is terrorist. People will just laugh at him like, so what are you going to do? Wike too is going to come to his own end. But let me be honest with you. When I told you that PDP and APC, they are the same thing, I am not making it up. And I know that many people also agree that APC and PDP are the same thing. Some of you just choose your own criminals differently. And I respect you. I respect that. There are many of you that if they ask you now that to come and differentiate between PDP and APC, you will write us a whole 60 leaves of journal. Abi, I respect your choice. But you can see through them. I told you, I said, if I come here to talk about PDP, don't say because you like what Mayegun is doing, or because Mayegun talks about things that really are so lovely that you enjoyed him, then you want to cherry pick for Mayegun because you don't want Mayegun to talk about the criminals in PDP, the criminals everywhere. Those ones that probably choose differently. They are the same thing. I told you. PDP will shoot you. PDP will arrest Nnamdi Kanu, attempt to kill him. Just same way Boko Haram did APC. They will hunt every IPOB member down. You know why? Because everything IPOB stands for is against everything they stand for. They love Nigeria. They, you know, by the time Wike turns, maybe when he turns 70, he will turn to Edwin Clark of Niger Delta of Port Harcourt, and he too will be giving political opinions. Start saying the youth are hungry. I understand why the youth are hungry. They should break up this country. When he begins to lose out of power, he too will be telling you to break up Nigeria. That's what they do when it is convenient for them. So IPOB in Rivers State, just like many other, you know, the eastern states, IPOB is a threat. IPOB is not a threat to the people of Biafra. IPOB is not a threat to the people of Port Harcourt or Rivers State. IPOB is not a IPOB is not a threat to anyone. But IPOB is a threat in every place they are to every political criminal there, be a governor, be a PDP or APC. You are a threat to them because most of them that you see parading themselves as your political leaders in your communities, they have their allegiance to somewhere across the border, and that is how they roll. So to maintain that power and influence and secure that power, they need to never be seen to allow IPOB to operate. And that is how they invite the soldiers. They do. When Nnamdi Kanu was released by the court, and he was going about his evangelism, meeting all the Biafrans from all parts of Biafra land at the time, and appearing in court. He was due to go back to court, but for that just a few months that he was out, and you know, rallying the Biafrans here and there all around, and you saw the videos, by the way, they became uncomfortable. Okay, the powers that be in the eastern part of, they became uncomfortable. They had to invite Buratai the butcher to come and send them Operation Crocodile Smile. That was the first time they made up that name, Operation Crocodile Smile. They sent that to Abia State, to Nnamdi Kanu's house, to kill him. That was the purpose. He wasn't meant to be arrested. He was meant to be shot and killed. And they would look like he was escaping, trying to escape. And that was the plan. How the guy managed to escape, Baba? I'm still going to ask him one-on-one. I said, when I have one-on-one with him on Mayegun's diary, that's the question I'm going to ask him. How did you escape? Tell us. I don't know if he's shared that with anyone, but that would be the major thing I will ask him if he comes onto my show anytime. The Eastern governors asked that he should be killed. If you ask Wike today that the police brutality in Rivers State, what is he doing about it? He will tell you that he doesn't control the police. He doesn't control the army. He's just a governor. But now that he's going after IPOB, he's using everything because he's a friend to Tambuwa. Remember that. He's a Tambuwa's friend, Sokoto governor. They are friends, very close friends, right? He's hunting IPOB members with the soldiers, the Buratai. The soldiers Buratai is sending. The soldiers are going to be at the beck and call of Wike and all the Eastern governors. It is going to be a coordinated operation now. And they're already on ground, killing people right now. So soon, in Rivers State, you will see what will happen. They are going to target people, including their political enemies. They are going to label them IPOB in order to execute them. That is what is going to be now. Jungle Justice is also threatening the local government chairman of his party. Because, you know, as a governor, he controls the local government too. All the local government chairmen are loyal to him. If they misbehave, it's going to send them away. That is the type of democracy they are practicing in Nigeria. So it's threatening them. If there is any IPOB in their own area, they have to mobilize and make sure the soldiers go after them. That is a country with a constitution, a country that prescribe IPOB, but the same country is now rehabilitating terrorists, repentant Boko Haram. How does that make sense to you? PDP, APC. Even Yeye Bello has something to say about what is going on. And he has his own opinion too. Criminals, leaders, your criminal leaders. Let me give a shout out to my guy, Chima Mbono. I almost missed that. Okay. Thank you so much for your super sticker and your super chat as well. And I will read your comment too. My brother, if we don't end Nigeria now, more people will die. Fulanis are not ready to let go of the power. I see danger coming. But I see more than danger. Okay? I just say, may God just give us long life enough to be able to live to tell the story. PDP is APC. APC is PDP. They have the same mindset. No matter what they tell you about themselves, you are just the pawn on their chess table. You are the pawn. Same thing that is going on in Lagos. The governor of Lagos State agreed that the soldiers should go to Lekki because they told him another came from Abuja that they are going to send soldiers to Lekki to disperse the crowd. The governor agreed with them, and they said they are going to use every force to disperse them. The governor agreed with them, but he said, give me time. Let me declare curfew so that I can send them away, and the number will reduce. Let's see if they go away. But he agreed. He agreed. He agreed with them to bring soldiers to attack protesters. And he has confessed. Even though Nigerian army says they don't know who went there to shoot anybody. They know. They sent them. Tinubu knows about it. Sanwo-Olu knows about it. But they didn't know it was going to backfire this way. They didn't know it was going to go bad this way. And they are doing all the damage controls. Now, they are sending soldiers to Rivers State because that is what they can do in a democracy to suppress angry citizens. That's what they do. Shoot and kill them. They know. No soldier will come to your state and kill anybody without your state governor being aware of it. Don't let anybody lie to you. Okay? They know. And you should tell yourself that they know. Listen to Yeye Bello, what he has to say about ENC. And that is why I said they will not let you protest again. You will never be on the street again. They will never make that happen again. They would, because they regretted this. This is out of hand already. If they will succeed in coming out of this, you will never have the opportunity of gathering again. Okay? Or if you do, then you are going to be ready for that thing you ran away from in the first place. Because they will fire you. Or if you don't give up, right, they will drop their guns and run away too. But how many of you will do that? Now that they know that they can stop you before you actually gather and grow. Listen to Yeye Bello. He has this to say.
Let me tell you, and my brother, what is happening today, so-called NSAS, is politically motivated. Whether anybody say it or not, I am saying it once again, and quote me anywhere, any day. And I'll
Why do you say so?
Why would you demand for 5 items, 5 for 5, and you are granted and refuse to take it? Which struggle, which agitation, which uprising across the world has ever succeeded without leadership?
But
that is number one.
Are you saying, just one moment, Your Excellency, are you saying that you do not agree with the agitations of the protesters?
100% I agreed. 100%. But if you look at what is happening today, then you have no option that to classify it as politically motivated. And let me tell you, this is a ploy to set we the youth
sorry, Your Excellency, Your Excellency, just one moment. If you say that you are with them 100% and you are still saying that it is politically motivated, by whom?
But those who set them up. But the politicians who have hands in NSAS.
You know them?
But those who continue to shift the goalpost when the demands were met. But those who continue to profiteer from it,
but you know, part
of
what
who have set to profiteer from
part of what transpired, Your Excellency, which is equally out there, is that after SARS was scrapped, not long after, the police authorities did say, look, we're going to embark on training, retraining, and ensure things are done properly. But it wasn't equally long after, then there was this announcement of SWAT. Number one is that, did we see a list of all the members of SARS? Now, when you set up SWAT in a very short time, and people don't know why that was done, know the explanation or the reasons behind it, they were not aware of that. The impression was, how could you have set it up in such a short time? Who are going to be members of this SWAT? Isn't it just a name change? That was the way it came across, and people said, wait a minute, no, that this couldn't be. This was not the impression we have of the police hierarchy. So if they continue asking questions based on that, what's wrong with that?
A lot is wrong with that. You see, let me tell you, Chamberlain, you asked for end SARS. And remember, not everybody believes in ending the SARS. And if you say SARS are even wrong in doing one thing or the other, the best way to have agitated was to simply ask for the reform of the total security overhaul. A security architecture. In the military today.
Sorry, guys, for probably sharing that statement from that type of phone. Okay. But I share that simply because it is the reality of what Nigeria is today. Charlatans, criminals, murderers, killers like him are in the position of authority, sharing opinion on how millions of people's destinies are decided by this charlatan and his likes. I'll take you quickly back to somewhere. A clip way back from when someone actually confessed that it's because good people don't come to join politics. That's why they have criminals in. And that same person is no other person than the El Rufai of Kaduna. The insecurity that you see around today, they know about it. They are profiting from it. The chaos that is happening today after the NSAS protest were unleashed by them. Even this Yeye Bello mobilized his own thugs from Kogi, and they moved them. Same thing with Gandola of Kano, the Babariga mobile banking CEO of Kano, Gandola. They mobilized thugs on the 13th of the protest when it was nearly 2 weeks. And that was when they started, thugs, armed thugs, paid for by the police, mobilized in government vehicles, started attacking peaceful protesters, started burning down properties, started burning down their businesses. Protesters didn't do that. Politicians did. And look at him. He has opinion on what happened. I'm glad that he is currently enjoying his visa ban. There are many other visa ban. There are many of those criminals in Nigeria that are going to get that same visa ban. Their properties will be confiscated outside Nigeria. And they have many. Even if they return the money to you, it's still going to end up in the hands of other criminals or your newly promoted criminals as a criminal entity that the country is anyway. Right? But listen to this Rufai's interview. It was before Buhari became president and before he himself became the butcher, the executioner of Kaduna. Watch it.
So why are we surprised? All the good people keep away from politics. Who will be in politics? It's a vacuum. It will be filled by bad people. If all the good people go abroad or join the private sector, who is going to be in government? The people that are not so good. And this is what is happening. We are seeing an intersection of bad people in government, bad people in politics, and our country is running down. It's going down the drain.
Now, even the good ones that want to get involved, that is that kind of a tactical way of edging them out of the contest.
Because they are not a critical mass. There are very few of them. There are very few of them. When we were in the government, only about 4 of us as ministers could stand up and say we disagreed with President Obasanjo. There are 42 ministers. Only about 4 that I remember could speak in council against anything Obasanjo wanted to do if we disagreed. Why?
So others will just agree with it?
Everybody will keep quiet. And this is the problem. When you pick people that have never achieved anything in their lives and put them in these very senior government positions, they want to remain there forever, they will do anything to remain there. They would not tell the president the truth. They will not look at the governor and tell him the truth, which is their job as advisors. Because a minister is an advisor to the president.
In that case, is it the fault of the people or the fault of the man who placed them? Because
no, it is a bit of both, okay? It is the fault of the elites, in my opinion. I won't say the people. In every society, the elites, those that are privileged with education, money, or influence, are the ones that ought to sit down and set the tone for the structure of that society. Okay? If our elites have chosen not to go into politics and set that tone, as I said, there is a vacuum, the bad ones will take over. We've seen that in Nigeria. So there is that. It is also true that the leader that picks those around him is culpable, because you are responsible for those you select. Okay? You are constrained to some extent, because our constitution, for instance, says that the president must appoint a minister from each state. But it doesn't say that you should appoint a criminal from the state. It says that you should look for the best possible person and appoint him to be minister. So there are constraints, but still I believe that in this country.
So we don't know who is advising, or who are those advising Buhari before his demise, right? But I've got one thing to take you through as well. This one is coming from this a man of God. But before I get to that, I think I should share this with you. It's a very short line phrase, the message from Dino. That was when he himself was a senator. But I like the line, which is when the poor people find nothing to eat, they go, now the rich people then go eat. It's coming to, it is coming to pass. Watch this.
If you think you have so much money and you are insured from poverty, a time will come when the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich.
wow.
A time will come when it will not be safe to drive your big jeeps on the road. It's already happening. The rich becomes the target. Whether you got your money legitimately or illegitimately, you become the target of the poor. And we're getting there. When I was growing up as a child, houses had no fences. Even in the GRAs, value got more deteriorated. Now houses were not just having fences, they started using broken bottles of mineral, Coca-Cola and all that as barriers on fences. It got worsened, we started using barbed wire. Now it's electric fence. We have grown from beware of dogs to beware of snakes, beware of crocodiles, beware of lions.
And all those will not stop the poor from demanding for what you took from them, like this.
You see how some youths are also trying to force their way into another warehouse facility where agricultural inputs are likely to have been stored. What you're seeing here is ongoing in virtually every store you can find in the state. Every of the warehouse operated by the state government. There has been massive looting. I think angry residents have trooped out to the streets, locating warehouses where food items are supposedly stored as palliatives for use during the lockdown. It's massive. It's just a free rush. Everyone laying his hands on what they can lay their hands on. You can see the rush. It's a big warehouse. It's a big warehouse. Big warehouse. It's a big warehouse. Youth who has made it to the rooftop. Someone has made it to the rooftop. Someone has made it to the rooftop.
ana kan zuwa fa yanzu ne wasu suna ji ba su san me yake faruwa ba.
Yes. Meanwhile, not every one of those you see out there is actually going there to get what they want to eat. Some are some are joining the hunt, the palliative food hunt, hunt around the whole country now. They are doing so because it's going to be a business, a real business, where they are indeed, they don't care if you want to shoot them or what, but they will bungle the warehouse if they manage to see it first, and they will load and load for sale. Like this one I'm going to share with you.
About 1,958 cartons of branded noodles out of 3,850 cartons meant for distribution as palliatives in Benue State were diverted and sold in Kano Market, where they were later recovered by the police. While briefing newsmen at the Bompai Police Headquarters in Kano, Commissioner of Police Malam Habu Esani said the noodles tagged CA COVID-19, valued to be over 4 million naira, was donated to Benue State. Right now at the police Bompai headquarters, these palliatives were supposed to be in Benue State, donated by a philanthropist. But as you can see, the police seized over 1,968 cartons that were being sold in the market in Kano State.
Out of the
Imagine that. Palliatives for poor people. They diverted them to Kano to be sold. And you will go, imagine you going to the market and you say you want to buy a pack of Indomie, pack of noodles, and you see COVID-19 palliative not for sale. You see buy them, Nabi. That is what how degenerated the country is. Meanwhile, yesterday, right, I told you that the Okpa Ashe that they took from the Okpa Ashe they took from Akeolu's palace. They said the Okpa Ashe no be the original one. Say the original one. If you try them, you feel, So they have started the process of trying to bring Akeolu back to his palace in Igaidugoron. They have started the ritual to bring him back. But before we get to that, I love the message of this man of God. I want to share it with you. Join me.
Now they dance, when they dance, now they forget Nigeria, jaga, everywhere scatter. Poor man they suffer, boza, gunshot now forget all those one. Ayana mona sing the mona sing Ghana. Food in no day, brother, water no day. And our country no good though. Every day 41 day for owner. Poor man wait if Maggie or mother go show his face for crime fighter. Or passenger wait if money we know they see his face for crime fighter. Our governor na thief. Yes, OG Indomie. Governor cause the thief Indomie.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Chidi.
Indomie.
Honoring Indomie. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Now our governor's got a thief now. Indomie. Ipapu. Governor got thief Indomie. Go hide down.
He hide down for warehouse.
Indomie. Ojiagbo Ojieni. Nigeria government, it will not be well with you people. It will not be well with Nigeria government. They will wake up and bury their children. They will wake up and bury their wife. All these evil politicians, the one in Aso Rock, the one in House of Assembly, the one in Senator, Tukutu Magiewe Ba,
Wicked people. Amen. I don't understand all he said, but I knew he was praying. So, amen. A big amen to that. Before we proceed as well, there's this, yeah, we are going to go back to the Opashe. Because you want update, don't you? And I'm just trying to keep you updated as much as possible. Those of you who saw how they stole Opashe, how Opashe ended up on Gigi, how Kabiyesi left shoe, ended up on Konga. And now so I'm going to give you the update. Oba is coming back to Palace, okay? They are doing everything, but that Opashe they stole wasn't the real one. But let's talk about in Lagos where the Nigerian senators decided, or Southwest National Assembly Caucus decided to pay Sanwo-Igbo his own visit after what is going on in Lagos and what has happened in Lagos as well. Have you heard the news, by the way, that you see that case against Tifnumbu, the Alpha Beta, the 100 billion naira case, the court in Igboshiri, they say the court burn. They don't burn the court for Igboshiri. The court paper, the case paper, everything don't burn. So the guy will have to start again or forget about the case of suing Tinubu and the 100 billion naira Alpha Beta unremitted their money. Remember that. That's the latest too. I just said I should tell you. But here at the National Assembly Caucus of Southwest politicians or Southwest lawmakers in Abuja coming to see Sanwo-Igbo in Lagos. Yeah, it's part of the documentary.
Particularly went from FRRS. This is Nigerian Port Authority, the third building. So these are forensic now, where the police actually do all their forensic work. They took all the equipment and brought the building. This is the back of City Hall, where the first floor and the fourth floor totally destroyed. This is our Joint Divisional Headquarters Police Station. This is the Saku Mall, Japan, private enterprise. They took everything, almost everything. They looted everything. This is GTB in Admiralty Lekki. Polaris Bank, the same Admiralty Lekki. Zenith Bank, also same vicinity. We destroyed all the ATM machines. This is the Lekki toll